Welcome to all you Aquarians. Welcome to your yearly horoscope for 2014 for you who have a sun in Aquarius, a moon in Aquarius, or an ascendant in Aquarius, or even a stellium. I mean, more planets like Venus or Mercury or Mars in Aquarius. What is happening for 2014? Well, I'll start with the good news. And I think that Aquarius and Leos will be the shortest videos just because it's good news and I don't have to talk long about that. So it's certainly not because I'm not interested in the sign of Aquarius. I love Aquarians. And you know, the thing about Aquarians is that they always have hope for the future. They always do. They always, no matter what happens and how harsh life can be to them, they have hope for the future. They have that spirit that goes way beyond than other people can have. They have that vision that, you know, things will change in the future. It is a sign that is really having a vision for the future. So 2014 is, I'm really glad to say that you are going to experience a very nice transit as from July up until the end of the year. This happens only once every 12 years. This Jupiter in your opposite sign actually. And so Jupiter in Leo, and that will have a very good effect in your personal relationships. And it's not only that, it's also, which is very unusual, it's, well, not unusual, but for you now, it's double. It's like having Jupiter in your 7th house, the house of relationships. And it's a planet of expansion, and it's the big benefit of all the planets. And it's also trining Uranus. And trining means a good aspect. And Uranus is a planet that is associated with your sign because it has to do with sudden events. It has to do with liberty, you know, the égalité, fraternité, liberté, égalité et fraternité. That is all about Aquarius. Aquarius is a sign that needs its freedom. And there is something there, especially around July and August, that you can benefit from that has to do with maybe sudden lucks occurring for you. And especially when you have the open mind, it can happen to you. And I'll talk about in a minute what this is all about. So let's first start with Jupiter. So Jupiter is now in Cancer as up until I think the middle of July. So that is your 6th house. So if you want to improve your day-to-day routines, do it in those 6 months. And what do I mean by day-to-day routines? Let's say that you have a busy life, or maybe you haven't, but that it's not structured. That in the morning you need to do this and that, and in the afternoon this and that, and it's all a bit chaotic. Now is the time with Jupiter in that 6th house of day-to-day businesses to improve that and to even like your routines and to really focus on that. That is a good thing. It's also for many people the house of work and the house of health. So doing things that improve your health, like a better diet or doing some sports, that is all favored here because you need to have this discipline to stay doing it, and this is favored. When you want a new job or when you want finding more meaning in your job, again, this is so much favored during the 6 months before first months of the year. Now after that, Jupiter goes into your 7th house, and this is the good news. Let's say that you are single. First, for the people who are single. Now, if you have been single for a long time or not a long time, having Jupiter in the 7th house, especially if you have a rising sign of Aquarius, often means and actually is a testimony that new people come into your life and they're going to be good people. They're going to be people who have good intentions with you, because it's Jupiter. It's the big benefic, and it's the planet that wants to, that is interested in your growth, in your evolution of your soul. So you can meet people who can give you that boost, and that can give. So it certainly is, when you are open to it, opportunity that new people come into your life. For people who, so that is good news, isn't it? Especially if you want it to. So get out there, and I hope that you're going to meet the Jupiterian-like kind of people who are extremely optimistic and who really have that belief, and probably a belief in you. And we all need that, not only the Aquarians, we all need that. For people who are in a relationship, let's say first people who are in a really, really bad relationship, the really not having any meaning there, this can shift, because you can say, hey, I think we better split up, and things are not that bad afterwards. So in other words, if you are now in the middle of splitting up, or you have been thinking about it, this can be the period that after you have done the breakup, that actually the finishing up of all the stuff that, you know, maybe you were married and now there's the divorce, the paperwork, it can be less depressing than you thought. In other words, you go separate ways, but you know why, and you both find peace with that, and you good chances are there that very soon that you will find someone else. That could be the scenario as well, but I think for most people who are in a relationship, who are in quite a good relationship, not the baddest, or, you know, with the regular ups and downs, I think it's going to be a very good year for your relationship, because you're going to find way more meaning of that other person that is close to you. You are going to see the Jupiterian sides of that personality. So even if you are 20 years with the same person, you kind of see now what they are meaning for you, and how important they are for you, and how important you are to them. So you see them there is opportunity to see them in a more optimistic view, and that is fine. So, and especially because around this period of July and August, it's trining Uranus. So for those who are single, this can be the moment of meeting someone new, and probably from abroad or from a different background, because the 9th house is abroad and different cultures, and Jupiter is also associated with abroad. So it could be someone from abroad, or from just a totally different background, could be the case as well, or who is younger than you are, with Jupiter there, could be as well. And wise, young and wise, a nice combination. Now, whatever it is, for people who are already in a relationship, it can mean that they are going to do things together, and it's going to be exciting, and maybe you're going to make a trip together, and not just a trip, I mean a really far, traveling far away. Or maybe you're going to college together, not to college, maybe not to college, but to learn something that has to do with the higher mind. Could be astrology, but could be as well, you know, something that has to do with spirit, something that has to do with a higher connection that connects all the dots. So this is the higher education. Could be the case as well. It's a good time to do that. I think with Uranus there in your 9th house, you are definitely an independent thinker. So for the upcoming years, you are going to change also the way that you think. And this is very much favored as well with having Mars for such a long time in Libra. So what is very unusual, normally I don't speak about Mars in a yearly horoscope, because it's only 2 months in a sign, but now it's 8 months in the same sign of Libra, which is a sister sign of you, which is also an air sign, which goes very well with your energy, this Mars in Libra. And it's going to be there the first 6 months of the year. So it's a huge opportunity to put a lot of effort in traveling, put a lot of effort in studying, putting a lot of effort in working on your belief system, and actively working on your belief system, whatever that might be. You fill in the dots. Now, with having this communication houses or these thinking houses highlighted during 2014, I think a lot of Aquarians will, how would I say, they will idealize, or they will try to improve their communications with Neptune there. No, not Neptune, with Uranus there, I mean, in your third house. So it's Mars and Uranus working in those thinking houses, trying to make changes. So don't think that the things that you're believing in the beginning of the year will be the same as at the end of the year. So you might expect some unexpected changes there. But it's certainly not a bad thing for you, because you are an air sign and you receive this Mars very well. Because Mars is in that other air sign. So again, a good time, especially the first 6 months of the year, to travel and to be very active with traveling. It could be doing sports during your traveling, or it could simply mean interacting a lot with other people, being very active, or even working abroad could be the case as well. And maybe with that person who is close to you, because this Jupiter is going to relate with Mars, is going to relate with Uranus. So a lot for you Aquarians to, a lot of positive things to be having the opportunity to tap into. But of course, Saturn is still in Scorpio. And that is the toughest planet for you Aquarians now, because it squares up to your sign. So Saturn is now in your 10th house. So for most people, it will have to do with work, I think. So there are things that are tested out there, or maybe with someone you work for is a bit of a testing time, or you're not getting the rewards for what you are doing. But hang on there, that's on the background. The Saturn, especially the ones who have planets around 17 degrees, up until the end of Aquarius. So these are the people who were born around, let's have a look, born around the 4th of the 5th to 6th of February, up until the rest of February. These are the people who are having Saturn in a square to your sign. So that's the thing that is actually challenging. So if you think that things go slow when it comes to work, it's there for a reason. It's there to get the fruits there after that transit has gone, which will be for some of you early in the year, and for others depending on the degrees, of course. But in general, it will be out of the sign of Scorpio at the very end of 2014. So, but it can also mean that you're getting more responsibilities at work, and therefore you need a lot of effort, energy to put into with work, and you are really structuring it, and maybe you're changing it. Maybe you want to do something completely different. Could be the case as well, but you are fearing it a little bit, and that's the process that you're going through. And when Saturn will shift into your 11th house, that process will be finished. So a lot of emphasis there as well, which is a hard-working emphasis, and I don't think that Aquarians dislike that. So wishing you the very best for 2014, you lovely Aquarians, and see you soon in the monthly horoscopes. Bye bye.